Hello, 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 everybody. Hi, it's Tuesday. How to Tuesday. Oh, yeah. So, taking a little face break. Allergies are killing me. We're doing eyes tonight, and mine are on fire. So, we're not doing the makeups up tonight, so I don't scare anybody. But anyway, my name's Eve. This is Eve's Creations Paint Party, and welcome to Tuesday, How to Tuesday. We're going to learn all about how to paint the eye and the lips. Yes, the eye and the lips. Yes, we are. So let's say hi to the Mr. Butters, because he is our little man in the house. And he is, hey Butters. Hey Butters. There he is. He's a little excited right now because we got some summer thunder boomers going on, so he's a little like being a spaz. But anywho, say hello if you're practicing with me tonight. Tonight is a practice session, not an actual painting, so I'm just showing you all my tips and tricks of being self-taught for 30 some odd years. Hi, Magna, and I'm just going to show them to you to make your paintings that much better. Okay, and always free to watch. Tips are appreciated. I will post that link in the comments, and we'll get this practice session started. Oh yeah, How to Tuesdays in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, 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 yes. So let's see. I cannot find what I'm looking for. There it is. Found it. Okay. Hi, Magna. How you doing, sweetie? Hello, 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 everybody. Say hello if you're practicing with me tonight. Eyes and lips, guys. Eyes and lips. Doing eyes and lips. Oh, yeah. And my eyes are all messed up. I was outside doing yard work today. Hey, Lisa. How you doing, hon? How's your back? How's your back, baby? We got to send you some healing prayers. Huh? We got to send you some well wishes there. I know this weather probably isn't helping you. Megna's in the house. You got storms too, Megna? We got storms going on, so Butters is under my feet. Hi, Margaret. How you doing, sweetheart? Hello, 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 everybody. Hi, guys. Oh yeah, I know. It's storming out, so I figured it wasn't going to be doing so good. So we got to send you some healing wishes here. So anybody that's on with us tonight, Lisa, keep Lisa in your prayers, okay? Her back's been killing her forever. Hello. I bet you're getting kind of over it for now. So I'm going to be using some different brushes. I'm gonna throw a coat on here real quick. We're only gonna be using black and white paint, guys. That's it, just black and white, because I want to show you the shading that goes on with this, and to do that in flesh tones, you guys aren't gonna be able to follow along. Magna's out of canvas. She's going to draw on paper today. Well, being out of canvas is a good thing. That means that you're painting a lot. So that's a good thing, hun. So, if we're going to do black and white, because I want to show you the shading, and then, you know, once you learn all the different pieces, you guys have never seen me work in black and white. Ever, 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 ever. I'm definitely a color girl. That is for sure. But once you see it in the black and white, you can add your skin tones the way you want to, because there's such different variation of skin tones that you can do. And if you don't mix your palette just right, it's not going to really work out for you. So, hey Deb, how you doing, sweetheart? So, black and white, that's it. That's all we're using tonight. Alright guys, black and white. Alrighty, so I'm going to swirl tap that big boy here. And I'm just going to put in, howdy, Deb, how you doing? I'm just going to put in, I'm just going to throw some paint on this canvas real quick, so this way it's a smoother surface to be working on. So I'm just grabbing a lot of white and a little bit of black. A lot of white and a little bit of black, just to get something on here. Just so my paint flows nice and easy peasy. It doesn't get caught up on the rough texture of the canvas. So I just want to throw something down real fast. You know, kind of smooth it on over. Some people turn around and put gesso on their canvases, even though they come pre-gessoed. That's what that means. If you ever see canvases for sale and it says prime 3 times, or you know, prime 2 times, excuse me, what that means is that they put the coat to gesso on it. Now, just because it's primed, it could still have a rough texture. You know, and all canvases are different. Some companies, the canvases have more of a roughness to it. I don't know if that's a word, roughness. And some other ones are smoother. So it is really kind of a touch and go thing. But if you turn around and you just put some, you can turn around and put your own coat of gesso, and you can turn around and put a couple of coats of gesso if you want to, if you really want a very smooth surface. You know, it's all personal preference. It also depends on like what you're doing. You know, if you're doing like a landscape, the rough texture would actually come in your favor, because as you're doing all of your smooshes and everything else, that is going to grab the paint for you and make a nice texture, something for the paint to hold on to. So it would be good if you're doing landscapes. If you're doing something like this tonight, the smoother the surface, probably the better off you are, because this is more like drawing than it is anything else. Hey Cheryl, hello, how you doing, sweetheart? So Cheryl, we're not painting tonight. This is a practice session. So I'm going to show you everything I know about how to paint the eyes. Well, I want to show you the beginning parts of how to paint the eyes and how to paint the lips. And right now I am just throwing a background on here. Excuse me. So, and we're just using black and white paint tonight. And oh guys, so heads up, all right? Like seriously, heads up. If you're Google imaging some reference pictures for yourself, do yourself a favor and put in how to paint or draw the eyes. Don't just put in, sometimes I paint on wood, yes Margaret, don't just put in eyes, because you're going to get some nasty looking stuff. Can you tell that's what I did? That's what I did. So don't just put in the eyes. Put in how to paint eyes or how to draw eyes into Google, and then hit your images button. And this way, you don't turn around and get any nasty things up there. Because that's what happened to me. And it was gross. Gross, I tell you. It was gross. Gross. Alright, so we got Megan and Margaret and Lisa and Deb and Cheryl in the house. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to swirl tap that big boy, right? Just get all that paint out of them. All I did was throw a light little black and white on here for you, and all we're working in with is black and white. Maybe I'll grab some color for the eyeball. I don't know. Maybe for the eye color. Black and white isn't really my thing. It's not really my thing. I like working with color. Alright. So, I'm going to grab a little bit of black. Okay? And some white. Just a smidge. Nothing major, but I want it darker than my background. Alright, so I'm going to grab some black and white here. I want it darker than my background. Okay, and I'm going to start off, right? So we need an eyeball. So you're just going to swoop and arch this way. right? And then you need the little piece. You need that little piece in there. And you're going to swoop this way. Swoop, just like that. Now, if you're painting a face, when you do your eyes, paint them both at the same time. You've heard me say this in the animal videos and everything else. Paint them both at the same time. Because if you completely paint one eyeball and then try to go onto the other side of your face and paint the other eyeball, they're not going to be even. Excuse me. So you do not want to do that. So the next thing I want to do is, once I have this piece put in, I want to turn around and put in the side of the nose. Okay, that would be the side of my nose right there. And I want to put in my eyebrow. You want to put in that crease, not the eyebrow yet, but that crease that's in here where your eyelid goes in. Okay, so you want to put that in. Right, and then I'm going to put in my eyebrow. Right, so this is just all like nothing too crazy here. And then I just want to put in my eyebrow. So I'm just going to do a few dashes. See, I'm just smushing back and forth. Right, so she just went to the beautician. Her eyebrows are looking fierce, right? Looking fierce. All right, so I'm gonna smooth this out towards my eye, right? And you want to have a shadow right in here. There's a shadow, okay, right in there. So I'm gonna smooth that line out. Butters is literally, hey Julianne, how you doing, honey? Hello, sweetheart. So I'm gonna put in the side of my nose, and then I'm just gonna blend this out to make that shadow. Right, so you want a shadow right there on the side of your nose, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this out. Right, you're gonna pull this out and put the shadow under the eye. Right, so you're gonna put the shadow under the eye. And if you kept working this, once you have that shadow under the eye, like if you keep working this, then all of a sudden your cheekbone would be here. Right, so you'd have your cheekbone here and you'd be working this all out. But anyway, we're not going to go into all that. We're just doing eyeballs. I'm just doing pieces. That's okay, Julia. It's all good. Alright, so we have the shadow next to the nose. We have the shadow. And now we have to make this a shadow, right? So I am just going to soften this out. So I'm just softening this out. I'm just doing my zig-a-zag-a-zoom. We're just rubbing back and forth. That's all we're doing. Right? And I'm just going to pull it towards, soften it out towards the eye. Right? So when you soften this out, you don't want to go into the brow bone part. You just want to turn around and towards the eye. Right? So there's your eyelid. Alright? So Now we need, I'm going to grab just white paint. Now we need the eyeball. We need the eyeball. Oh yeah. So, yeah, Julianne, I was telling everybody, don't turn around and if you're going to Google image this stuff, don't turn around and just put eyeballs. Put in how to draw eyeballs. Because if you put in just eyeballs, it's gross. Hello. We got some creepers out there. Yeah, we do. Because all I said hello to was Magna and Margaret and Lisa and Deb, Cheryl and Julia. And there's more people in there. I know there is. That's okay, though. I don't mind. Alright, so now I'm just grabbing white paint. We're just grabbing white paint. And you're going to leave that little piece right in there. That little, that little, whatever that is. The corner of your eye. And you're going to fill in the rest of this with white paint. Now, I'm using, every time I grab my paint doing this, guys, and I'm just using Big Boy. That's all I'm doing. Every time I grab my paint, I'm grabbing small amounts of paint. Very small amounts of paint. Little amounts of paint, right? Because less is more, right? So we can build on this to make it more and more realistic. But once you start globbing paint around, you're not going to be able to build on anything. Alright, so now I'm just pulling my brush strokes round like this, just to turn around. And sometimes I do my brush strokes so I get the shape of the object in my mind more so than on the canvas. I get the shape of the object in my mind more so than on the canvas. Okay, so now we have that. Now I'm going to grab some black paint, right? And I want a nice fine tip on Big Boy here. Nice fine tip. Nice, thin, small, fine tip. See that? Nice and flat. And I'm going to go in, and I'm going to go right in here, and I'm just going to kind of pull. Oh, I'm going to need more black paint than that. We need more black paint than that. But see, it's always better to grab more. It's always better to grab more than get stuck with globs on here. So I'm going to put my darker line right there. And we're going to put a darker line right here. There we go. Alright. There's your darker line right there. Okay? Now, wipe off Big Boy. Wipe off Big Boy. And you're going to turn around with that darker line right there. I just put my hand in my paint. You're going to turn around and zig-a-zag-a-zoom. You're going to zig-a-zag-a-zoom. So you don't want to lose the line, but you want to bring some shadow in to this eyeball part. So I am just kind of going along that line. I'm pulling it in to my eyeball part. I'm going to go along this line, and I do it this way because if that line's too thick, this is a great trick to make it as thin as you want it to be. Okay, so it's a great trick to make it even thinner. So I am just putting Big Boy onto the line, and I am just pulling into my eyeball, and I'm going to soften that all out. And now I'm going to grab some more white paint. Grabbing more white paint, and we're going to put the bright white into the center. That's all we're doing. So now I just grabbed white paint, and we're going to put that all into the center. I'm going to wipe off Big Boy, and I'm just going to blend this all out. Right? Soften this all up. Okay? Just going to blend this all out. That's what all I'm doing. So I'm just making this brighter. I'm keeping that shadow in there, trying not to lose it. If I lose it, I can always put it back in. Right? If we lose it, we could always put it back in. You know me. I'm always losing my dark, or I'm always losing my light, and that's okay. Right? Because we can very easily put it right back in. Very easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Nothing hard here, guys. Nothing hard. You guys can do this. You got this. It's nothing. You guys painted all sorts of stuff. You guys can paint this. No worries. That's for sure. Alright, so give you guys a chance to catch up. Mustard, let's say hello to Julia and Cheryl and Deb and Lisa, Margaret and Megna. Thank you so much for joining me this Tuesday. And we're going to learn about eyes and lips. And Butters is under my feet because the storms are coming. We got rumbles in the sky, so he rumbles at my feet. Oh yeah. Yes, he does. Alright, so now I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. I'm going to switch to a 1/2-inch brush. So still using a flat, just using a 1/2-inch flat now. Just using a smaller brush. Looks great. Thanks, Cheryl. So, using a smaller brush, right? So, that's it. Okay, so everything we just did, we're just going to do a little bit more and a little bit more. So, we're going to just build on top of this, right? Just acrylic painting is adding more and more detail, right, as you build. So, all I did, I grabbed a smaller brush and I grabbed black paint. And I'm going to come in here and I'm not going to put it all the way across. I'm going to leave some, you know, I'm just going to wiggle back and forth. I'm not going to turn around and put a solid black line. Hi, Wendy. Hello, 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 sweetheart. I'm not going to put a solid black line. I don't want a solid black line. We're just going to wiggle back and forth. That's all we're doing. So I'm just putting this back in, right? Just putting this back in a little bit darker. And now this one, I'm going to rub into the eyelid. I'm going to rub this out into the eyelid crease. Right? So, very little paint. Very little paint. Very light amount of paint. And then I want to add a little bit of a highlight to this. Whoops. Whoa, see? Grab too much paint. Told you. Right? Well, I'm going to use that on my brow bone then, since I grabbed so much of it. So we're going to turn around and add this to the brow bone. Put this highlight in the brow bone area here. And a little bit on the eyelid. Alright, so if you notice, I'm using very small amounts of paint. I am just wiggling back and forth. That's all I'm doing. And I'm just adding some more highlights and more shadows. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of black. Smidgens, microscopic amount of paint, guys. Microscopic. Like nothing major. And you want all this to have a soft blend, because this is skin, guys. This is skin. So you want to give it all a soft blend. So I am just going over the whole thing. I'm giving it a nice, right? The more you go over it, the softer it gets. Okay? Let's blend this out a little bit right here. Blend, 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 blend. Right? There we go. Okay. So, now that we defined that, we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. You guys got this. I'm going to grab white paint, just white paint, on my smaller flat brush. And I'm going to put in some more of the white. Right? I'm just dabbing. Here, there, not everywhere. I am just dabbing now. We're not putting lines of white. We are just dabbing. We're just dabbing, and we want to go into the center part of the eyeball here. And I'm just dabbing some more white, right, to make this look curved. I'm doing an arching motion. I'm arching my brush. Arch, 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 arch. Arching my brush. And I'm just adding some more of a highlight to that. That's it. Alright, so now on to the good stuff, right? You're like, Eve, I'm totally done with all this shading stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the good stuff, right? Alright, so the good stuff. Alright, so I want to put in the black part, the iris, right? So I'm going to grab just black. I'm going to grab just black. And the iris of the eye, unless you're doing a certain expression, but we're just doing an eyeball looking right at you. So the iris of the eye is actually up here. It's not dead center. Unless you're, like, where you put this is kind of, you know, and also your different lines. You can do frown lines. There's so many different things you can do, but I'm just going to show you the basics. But just an eye looking at you straight. The iris is not dead center. If you put it dead center, your person's going to look scared. They're going to look scared. All right, it's up here. It's up here. It's up on this thing. Right? So again, I'm just doing soft sweeping motions, right? I'm just doing soft sweeping motions. I'm not doing bam. I'm not doing harsh lines, right? Because if you keep this soft, the more realistic it's going to look. Right? So if you keep it soft, the more realistic it's going to look. And now I'm just kind of smushing it. I'm just kind of smushing it in. Alright? I'm just smushing that in. That's all I'm doing. And I'm going to grab a little bit more black. Now that I have my general shape in there. Right? So if you guys went to go hardcore and just draw a circle, like whoosh, draw a circle in here, chances are you're not going to get a good circle. Right? Because not all of us are experts at drawing circles. And second of all, remember the rule, the more I play with it, the bigger it's going to get. So, I don't want to turn around and do anything very harsh. Now that I have the general shape, now I can go in and pull my brush. Notice I'm holding it like a pencil. And pull my brush and make it a better circle. Okay? So now I can make it a better circle. Right? And I'm going to put that dark line back up in here again. Because it keeps disappearing on me. I think I painted this line like 4 times already. But that's okay. So, there is your pupil. Pupil, that's what it's called. There's your pupil. Alright, so, swirl tap dab in my brush. And I'm going to turn around. No, this is called an iris. Wait a minute. What's the parts of an eye, guys? What's the black thing called? Is that the iris? And this thing's the pupil? The color? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Anyway, the black dot. That's what you want. Alright. And now I'm going to put in where the color would go, right? So I'm going to, again, nice and soft. Nice and soft. I'm just doing dabs. White paint. Nice and soft all the way around. Right? Nice and soft all the way around. Soft, soft, soft. Not dragging a line yet. I just want to get my shape in there. Make sure I have it. The pupil. Alright. Thanks, Cheryl. You're the best. Okay. And now I'm going to pull outward. I'm going to pull outward. Okay, so I'm just going to pull outward because in the pupil, maybe I'll do colors in this part because this part is the color of the eye and that'll be fun. And I can show you lots of cool different things with the colors. Okay, so I'm just going to pull outward. And if you messed up the black dot, you can fix it now. You can fix it. If you messed it up, you can fix it. Right? Just by pulling the paint out. Okay, so I'm going to grab some more white paint. Grab more white paint. And I'm going to pull outward. Right? Grab some more white paint. And you're going to pull outward. Pull outward. Pull, pull, pull. Pull, pull, pull outward. Okay? So, there you go. So, we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to do our other layer on that. So, now I'm going to turn around and grab my smaller brush. I'm going to grab, let's see. Let's grab Tiny. Let's grab ourselves a Tiny. Tiny is a small round. It's all Tiny as he is a small round brush. Magna has all these brushes. Magna, are you patrolling on a roll for me here? So, small round brush. And I'm going to grab some black paint. Just on the tip, right? Small amounts of paint, minuscule. I'm holding this like a pencil, and I'm going to come into this part right here. Right? So, I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to shade. Right? I'm going to shade, and then if you need to fix the shape of your white, of your eyeball, you can do that. So, I'm just going to put a little shadowing right in here. just like a little triangle of shadow, right? And I'm going to put a little shade in here, right in there. Okay, that's it. And I'm going to wipe off my brush. And I'm going to grab some white. And it has that little thing right there, whatever this is. I have no idea what that's called. Does anybody know what that little piece is called? I have no clue. So we're just going to put that little piece in there. That little bubble thing that's in that part of the eye. I'm going to wipe off my brush. And I'm just going to soften this out. So, when you are doing this, if you want the more realistic, if you want it really, 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 really realistic, everything is soft because it's skin. If you're going to have harsh lines, you're going to turn around. You don't want to have harsh lines. Because if you have harsh lines, it's going to look more cartoony. It's not going to look real. Alright, so now we're going to do the eyelashes. So the eyelashes, right, they curve and they are long, they are short, they are all sorts of different sizes. They're not perfect little stripes going all the way across, right? They curve and some are long, some are short, okay? So I'm going to do my bottom ones first. Nope, can't do the bottom ones because I need to do something first. Alright, so I'm going to do my top ones first. See how quickly the plan changes? And I'm just going to do little flicks. Just doing little flicks. And they curve, guys. They curve. And they're all different lengths. They curve and they're all different lengths. Okay? So, let me give you a close-up of that. Alright, so, see? They curve and they're all different lengths. See that? Alright. So, we're not doing, you're not doing the, you know, the straight lines all up and out. You know what I mean? Like, these curve and they're all different lengths. Okay, so you want to keep that in mind. Right? Curve and they're all different lengths. And then when I hit where my pupil is, thank you very much, Cheryl, I'm going to change directions and start doing the curves the other way. Okay, so this way I curve that way. Yes, like grass. You got it, honey. You got it. So this side I did the curves this way. This side I'm going to do the curves going the other way. And do the curves going the other way. Okay? Alright, so I'll swirl tap dab my brush and I have to put in that little line. There's a brighter line right here that goes under the eye and then the eyelashes come off of that. So I'm going to grab my white paint and I'm going to come in. So you want to leave this dark here, but then right underneath it, again, I'm dashing, right? I'm so dashing, right? I'm dashing in this white brighter line. Now, that's a little too stark of white, so I'm going to just grab the smallest amount of black, the tiniest amount of black, and I am going to soften that out with the smallest amount of black, just to get that not to be like in your face white. Right? We don't want that in my face white. We want it lighter, but we don't want it in our face lighter. Okay? Now, off of that line is the bottom lashes. Alright, just black paint, small brush, okay, and they're all going to curve. Alright, so you go off of that line. And these are very tiny. Right? Small, 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 small. Right, just doing little dashes, that's it. Just little dashes. All I'm doing. In fact, I got a big glob right there. Did you notice that? So we're going to get rid of that glob. I don't like it. I don't like it. No, I don't like it, right? So we're going to get rid of it. All right? We're going to get rid of it. All right? I'm just smushing water on here, people. I'm just smushing water. See that? Just like that. Glob gone. If this was a colored painting, would I be using pink instead of white? Well, it depends what your skin tones are. So you just want a lighter colored skin tone. It might not necessarily be pink unless, you know, it depends. If you're doing very peach skin tones, then you would be doing a lighter peach, not necessarily a pink. Pink would come in more like on your cheek area and your lips, but the peaches, if you're doing, what's that called, a Caucasian person, what's that, you would turn around and the peaches, you'll have different variations, lots and lots of different tones. So it would be lighter, a lighter skin tone color. So watch out, Butters. Come on. Butters is like right under my feet, guys. Right under my feet. Alright, so I didn't like that glob there, so we got rid of it. Okay? And I'm just putting these in. Alright? Just putting in my eyelashes. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to take this black paint and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make this line better. Right, now that this is dry, I can do another round. Right, so I'm going to just follow this around, put this in better, make that darker. Right, smush it in. Smushing it in. I'm smushing it. Right, so you guys can do this. This is all just smushing and adding tones and putting layers and layers. Right, so you guys can do this. Alright, so let's grab let's grab some blue, and I'm gonna grab some yellow because my eyes are green, and since this is my eyeball, I'm gonna make her eyes green. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because I can. That's right. Because I can, I'm gonna make her eyes green. Because it's my eye. Isn't it great being the artist? You get to make all these decisions for yourself. So, I am going to turn around and grab my blue and my yellow. And if you look on my paintbrush, can you guys see that? I put it like halvesies. I put blue on one half and yellow on the other half. Alright? And I'm going to turn around in here. And I am just going to pull. I am going to pull. So, this way you get because eye color is not one solid color. It's actually stripes of different colors that make up your eye color, right? You ever see somebody's eyes and they have like all these brilliant little flecks of color going through them, right? So you don't want to turn around and make this one solid color. It's actually stripes of color. Okay, so I'm doing halvesies, half the color on one side, half the color on the other side of my brush. And that's going to give me the stripes. See? See the stripes? Easy peasy, guys. Easy peasy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, easy peasy. Right? Nothing hard here. The brush is doing the work for me. Yes, it is. Doing the work for me. Oh yeah. So, now I'm going to just turn around. I'm going to take my, I'm going to take Mini Me. It's a small flat brush, right? Our small flat Mini Me brush. And I'm going to go just into my blue. Just into my blue. And I'm going to come around the outside edge here. I'm just doing my blue nice and soft. And pulling a little bit of it in. See that? Nice and soft and pulling a little bit of it in. Okay? So, nice and soft. So if you guys are practicing, let me know what eye colors you chose. And if you guys, you know, this is your practice session. If you have any questions for me, now is the time to ask, guys. Now is the time to ask. So, ask away if you have any questions for me. This is your practice session. I'm just showing you my tricks. And that's it. I'm just showing you the tricks. That's all I'm doing. You know, I am a self-taught painter. So, you know what? There might be better tricks out there. There could be. Right? I don't monopolize all the tricks. You're watching, Cheryl? Okay, cool. That's good. I'm glad you guys. I'm glad my fam is here watching, because this would be very boring if you guys weren't here. It'd be very, very, very boring. I look forward to talking to all of you guys every live. My fam, right? So, more of you popped on. We need healing prayers for Lisa. Lisa's on here. Her back is killing her. So, she needs some healing prayers, guys. Right? So, send them her way. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is you're going to put in the life dots, right? The highlights. You want to put the highlights into the eye. Okay? And your eyeball is going to be pretty much all set. I mean, Yep. Definitely need to send her some healing prayers. Okay, so I'm going to grab my white paint. And we're going to turn around. And we need a highlight. Just like that. That's it. I'm going to put a dot here. Bam. And there's your eyeball, guys. So those of you painting along with me, I'll give you a chance to catch up mustard, practice those few little things, and then we're going to do lips, and we're going to be all set. So I'm just adding a little brighter in here, just a little bit. Just a little brighter in there. I'm going to add a little bit brighter in here. Just a little bit. You know, nice and soft, right, guys? Nice and soft. Nothing solid, nothing drastic. Nice and soft, just like that. Okay, guys? Right, Cheryl, you too. Yes, your back was killing you too. That's right, guys. So, I have to show you. Hi. I have to show you my little buddy here. Check this out. Hey, Butters. You see where he is? Butters. Yes, easy peasy when it is an extremely large eye. The bigger it is, this is where he's hanging out right now because there's thunder boomers. The bigger it is, that's why I say in the event, I say the bigger the canvas, the better. It's actually extremely hard. He doesn't like storms at all. It's actually extremely hard to paint. The smaller you get, the harder it is to paint. So, but if you turn around and you master all these details on a large scale, you can turn around and do it. Yes, he gets very scared when it's thunder. Thunder and fireworks. Yes, thunder and fireworks. Yes, your girl dog was, yeah, I guess there's a lot of dogs that don't like storms. So he's like literally under my feet. I keep tripping on him. So yeah, that's why in the events I turn around and say the bigger the canvas, the better. Now sometimes the bigger canvases seem very daunting. Like I know when Lisa did her first very large painting, you were like, oh my goodness, I'm going to do this whole entire canvas. It's actually easier to paint bigger. than it is to paint smaller. So if you can master things on a larger scale, then you will be able to do them on a smaller scale. But if you turn around and try painting something very small, it's going to be quite frustrating. Alright, so this is bothering me, so I'm going to turn around. I want to put a shadow in here, so I just grabbed black paint. I want to put a shadow in her eyebrow. I know. Right? It's the little things sometimes. But it was bothering me. There it is. There we go. There it is. Alright, so give you guys a chance to catch up. Mustard, and next we're going to do the lips. So, hello, everybody. Roll call time. Magna and Margaret and Lisa and Deb and Cheryl and Julia. Oh, yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello. Absolutely free to watch. Tips are appreciated because art supplies are not free. And I will post the links for anybody that's interested. And when you send me a tip, I will send you 2 free Mr. Nifties. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I want to show you Friday's painting. Guys. I'm actually quite proud of this one. So I told you I was going to do a thing for Father's Day. There you go. So this is Friday, guys. This is for Friday. Alright, so same bat channels, same bat time. We're going to be painting a galaxy. Now, do you have to do everything in this painting that I painted? No. My father's been gone for a while now, so I made him an angel with his little friend. Right? He got to meet Spencer up there. And there I am, hanging out with Butters. So, you don't have to turn around and do every detail. You can change details in this painting according to you, but this is going to be Friday's painting. Alright, so, now we're going to do the lips. Now we're going to do the lips. This, easy peasy, guys. Alright. And Butters just hit my stool, and he just knocked stuff off of it. Alright, so, swirl tap dab big boy. And I'm going to go right underneath my eyeball here. And we're going to do some lips. Lips. Oh, yeah. So. You still need those brushes? Okay, Cheryl. I'll be sending them out. Alright, so you're always behind Lisa? Yes, you are. Okay, so lips. Alright. One side. If your address is the address on PayPal, if it's a different address, they might have got sent somewhere else. Message me with your address, hon. Alright, so, wait, it looks like an ember, doesn't it? Okay, and now we're going to swoop this way. There we go. Some pretty lips going on here. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so, as I fill these in, I'm going to turn around. Right, obviously lips don't come to a extreme point like that, so let's soften that out a little bit. Oh, well, there you go. I'm racking my brain. I'm like, what, did I send that out to you? Did I have an address? That makes sense. So it all makes sense now, Cheryl. Thank you, guys. Anyone that sends support, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It really warms my heart. I really do appreciate it. I really, 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 really do. And the art stores appreciate it too. So I put in that line, and now I'm just taking Big Boy and I'm just softening my lines. Remember, soft, 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 soft. We're just softening these lines up. Just softening these lines up. Whoop. A little too much black there. A little too much black, Eve. Alright, so I have too much black on my brush. I'm going to put that into the middle of my mouth. Okay, so any of you that like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, I do have a blast from the past. I can post it. I did the Rocky Horror Picture Show lips. So if you guys like that, I can post it for you. It's a blast from the past. Okay. So I put too much black, so I'm gonna grab just white on my Big Boy, and I'm just going to blend this all out. We're blending, people. We're blending. That's all we're doing. We're blending. Because Eve grabbed way too much black paint. It happens. It happens. So I'm just smushing, guys. I'm just smushing. I'm just grabbing white paint. That's it. I'm just grabbing white paint and I'm smushing here. I'm a smushing. We're a smushing. Everybody's a smushing. You're a smushing. I'm a smushing. We're a smushing. We're all a smushing. That's all we're doing. We're just a smushing. Smushing, smushing, smushing. Oh, yeah. Smushing, smushing, smushing. Okay, so we're smushing that way. I just posted it. It's so if you send me some support via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, and PayPal gives me the address right off of PayPal. So if that's updated, that's fine. If not, you can message me with your address, and I will send you out your Mr. Nifties. All right, so I'm just grabbing white paint, and I'm just smushing, smushing, smushing. So where do I want to smush? I want to smush right in here. I want to smush right in there with my white. Right? I want to smush in the middle of the two pieces here. Okay? Push that all around. I am just pushing it around paint. That's all I'm doing. And then I want to smush white right in the center of the bottom here. Right in the center of the bottom. Right there. Okay? I'm going to smush that all around. Nice soft touch. Soft, soft, soft touch with this one. Soft touch. The only time you have to do a harder touch is maybe your paint's drying up on you and you have to kind of give it a good old smush. So, but we're just doing soft touches. And I'm just grabbing white paint and I'm building on this. Building on this. Because I want it lighter in the center. And darker around the edges. Darker around the edges and darker in the middle. It's darker in the middle. Okay, guys, so I'm just smushing this paint around. That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing. Just getting a feel. Just getting a feel. So, on top of the lip here, right? Grabbing some black paint, and you have that little thing that's under the nose, right? So that's there. On top of the lip, and then it has two highlighted parts, right? Soft, 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 guys. We're doing skin. So it has the two softer spots, the two lighter spots that come to the points. Okay. So that would be right under your nose. Swoop, there's the nose. Alright, so soft, 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 soft with white or whatever your skin tones are. And I'm just going to do an arching motion this way. Arching motion this way. And then leave it dark in the middle. Dark in the middle, okay? So, and then on the sides, On the sides, you're going to have a shadow here, a shadow here. Okay, so I just grab black paint, and I'm going to go with my white, and I'm going to soften these out. Right, so you have your shadows on both sides. Right. And the rest of your skin. And the rest of your skin. There we go. And on this side, the rest of my skin on this side. Okay, so that is around the mouth. So this needs to be a little darker there and a little darker there. Okay, and then it's going to be a little darker right under your lip. Right under your lip. A little darker under your lip. Okay, so right under your lip. Just zig-a-zag-a-zooming, people. You know this move. You know this move. Just zigzag-a-zooming. Right under the lip. Right under the lip. Now I'm going to pull it. Soften the line. And now I'm going to smush. Soften the line even more. So there's a shadow right under the lip. There we go. There's our shadow. Now I'm just pulling to blend it. That's it. I'm just pulling to blend it. Okay. So soften this part out over here. Soften this part out over there. Soften here. Soften there. Okay. So, I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush, get all the globs out of them. And I'm going to type that in for you, Cheryl. Okay, so you guys want color in these lips? I'm kind of over it with the black and white. I'm kind of over it, guys. No surprise there. Eve's over it. I'm over it with painting black and white. Grabbing some red. I need some color. Alright, so I'm going to grab some black. Very, very small amount of black. And I'm going to grab my red. Okay, and I'm going to go right into the center of my mouth. I'm going to put in that piece. Didn't take me long to be over it, right? With the black and the white. I made it through one thing. We got one thing. So, black and red. And now I'm going to just pull this out. So what you want to do is you want to do, again, arching motions. Arching motions. And the lips have lots of lines in them, right? They're all lines. So I'm going to pull this out. So right in the center, on the puffy part. Okay, I'm going to go arch this way. I'm going to arch that way. I'll pull up from the bottom. Doing flicks. Okay, I'm gonna put this way and that way. And I'll pull up from the bottom. Doing flicks, flicky, 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 flicky. There we go. All right. You're welcome, sweetie. Thank you. And pull this down. So you guys, if you know, there is such a thing as doing an underpainting, which is you do your paintings in grayscale first. You do your paintings in grayscale, and then you come back and put the color over it. And this way you get your shadows and your tones and your values are already in there. So when you do your painting over it, it actually tends to go a lot easier because you already have those tones on your canvas. And then when you put your colors over it, those tones are going to actually come through. If you notice, that's what happened with my lips when I added color. So that is actually a technique. Black and red again. Okay, and I'm going to go on the top of the lip here. Hi, Sandra. Hello, sweetheart. Welcome to the fam. Yes, my replays are always available. I post them on YouTube as long as the buttons work, and I post it to the event, and it's on my page. Okay, and I'm going to come in here and make this darker. I'm going to make this piece darker. Right, nice and soft, just pulling it out. Nice and soft, nice and soft, nice and soft. Just pulling it out. Pulling it out. There we go, nice and soft. Okay, that's cool. Yep, enjoy the replays. Replays are always available. Okay, so now I'm going to come in here. And I'll soften this out. Alright, it's darker in the corners. Darker in the corners. Darker, darker, darker. So I gotta do a little bit of a scrub because it started to dry. So I'm pressing hard, but that's just because my paint's almost dry. And I want to soften it out before it dries completely. Okay. So I scrubbed a little. Okay. So darker on the sides, darker on the corners. Now I'm going to grab just red. I'm going to grab just red. Just red. There we go. Just red paint. That's it. Just red paint. Nice and soft. Just pushing this around. Red, red, red. Red, red, red. Red's my favorite color. What's your guys' favorite colors? You guys have favorite colors? I know Lisa's is purple. Lisa's favorite color is purple. I know that much. And I'm going to grab just red. So red is a see-through paint. Like, if you can see through it, you need lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of layers of red to really get it bold and bright. So doing those undertones in black and white and then putting the red on top would actually... Cheryl's is pink. All right, we got pink. We got pink in the house. Oh, yeah. So we got pink and purple. Favorite colors. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so... Gonna grab just my black with my red now. Black and red together. I'm gonna come in here. Now I'm sweeping across. I'm re-putting in that dark part of my lip. And I'm gonna swirl tap dab my brush. Green! Margaret's is green! Awesome! Now, is that a Kelly green or a teal green or a turquoise green? Well, teal and turquoise green are probably about the same thing. Okay, and now I'm grabbing just my red paint, and I'm going to pull this all through in here. Okay, so same thing, right? Shadow in the center. Shadow in the center. Pulling it out. Darker on the sides. Darker on the sides. Okay, so I'm just putting my second coat of color on here, making sure I have my shadows where I want them. right? Just putting this in. Blending it out. Blending, blending, blending. Alright. So, all of them? I like the way you roll, Margaret. I like the way you roll. Alright, so I'm roll tap dabbing my brush. I'm going to grab some white. And I'm going to grab some red. I'm coming here. And I'm going to do my pulls. Right, we're pulling because there's lots of little lines and lips. You don't want to lose those lines. Light, 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 light touch, guys. Light touch. And even lighter as I get to the edges and the sides, because I don't want to lose my dark. I don't want to lose my dark. Okay, so, and I'm going to put this line in better for myself because I want her to have a little divot in her lip there. So I just drew that line and now I'm just pulling up from it. Okay, so there's my white, and then I'm going to come in here. This is still a little wet. It's still a little wet. Still a little wet. Okay, so white and red. We're going to come in here. I'm going to pull from the bottom. Pull from the bottom. And I'm arching my pulls. I'm arching my brush strokes. You notice they have an arch to them. And I'm just kind of flicking. Just kind of flicking. Okay. And then I'm going to grab, because in true Eve fashion, I turn around and lost some of my dark again. So I'm just going to grab just my red paint now. And grab just my red paint. And come in where that dark is. And I'm going to pull, right? So doing the pulls, you're going to get all the separation of the lines. You don't have to draw each line individually. You just do the pull. And you stick and move. If you notice, I'm sticking and moving. I'm not staying in one spot, and I'm not keeping painting over that one spot over and over again. I'm putting it in and I'm keeping it moving. Keeping it moving, guys. Okay, so just a few flicks here and there. Few flicks here and there. Okay, and I'm going to come up from my bottom. Right, come up from the bottom. Come up from the bottom. So I'm following the same thing with these lips, just over and over and over again. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am just adding more and more layers, and I'm keeping the shadows in the center, on the outer edges, and in the corners, and then I'm trying to keep my centers lighter. Now, naturally how I paint, I wind up going back and forth between my darks and my lights, and I wind up losing one or the other, and then I have to put them back in. And I think that's happened like 3 times on these lips already. Because that's just what happens when I paint. I'm always losing my one or the other. And that's okay. I'm not going to stress it because I know I could always put it back in, whichever ones that I wind up losing. So I'm going to grab my white paint. And I'm going to grab some red. And we're going to do one final pass. And also, I'm doing this, and I should let this actually dry in between layers, and I'm not. So that's another reason why everything's blending out on me. But all you have to remember is that You want the dark in the center. You want to do arching lines. And everything stays soft. That's all you want to remember. And then your highlights are in these two puffs. And in the center of the lip down here. Okay, so I'm going to put these highlights back in. Right, so I just grabbed white paint and I'm using an extremely light touch because my paint is very wet. And I'm going to put the highlights back in down here. And if you guys have any more questions for me, now is the time to ask them, because this how-to is pretty much finished up. So I'm putting microscopic amounts of white paint on Big Boy. I'm doing a very, very, very small light touch. And if you notice, I'm trying to stick and move. Doing a little finger blend in there because that works the best. Trying to stick and move, and I'm trying to put these in without losing them. Okay, so there you go. So the lips is, you leave your darks in here, outer edges, okay? You want a shadow line under the lip on the skin. You want this part to be darker, these two pieces to be brighter. It's a little darker in the corners. And as you do your layers, you're going to do arching lines, right? Arch out this way, arch out that way, okay? Arch in, and you want this to be the darks and the darks on the outer edge, and then the brights in the center. And you constantly just keep doing that sweeping, arching lines, and you let the brush do the work for you, because the brush is going to put all the lines in there. Look. See, did you guys see me make any lines? No. I didn't make any lines. Like, I didn't take a certain brush to make lines. All I did was use Big Boy and let him make his own lines. Okay? So, you just want to remember that. And then if you're going to put in a stark highlight, you know, if you're going to put in a really drastic highlight, I'll grab my smaller brush. I could come in here and I could put in like a really drastic highlight if I want to. So I'm just zigzag-a-zooming now. I'm just zigzag-a-zooming, and then I'm going to take my finger and blend that out, and you can do a very drastic highlight. So I'm just smushing with my finger, guys. So you can do a very drastic highlight if you want to. Okay, and I'm going to zigzag-a-zoom here. I'll take my finger, right? Switch your fingers up because it gets the paint on there. So you don't want to be painting with your fingers. You just want to be smushing with your fingers. So you can do a very drastic highlight if you want to and smush it out. Alright, guys. So there is your eyes and your lips. Messy painter. And I showed you what's on for Friday. And I hope you guys learned a lot. So I have Magna and Margaret and Lisa and Deb and Cheryl and Julia and all of you creepers that are out there, and the watchers and the ones that are going to watch the replay. Thank you so much for joining me on How To Tuesday. I hope you learned something with eyes and lips tonight. And I just want you to all have fun and go create, okay? You all warm my heart. Thank you. You're welcome, Lisa. Have a good night. I hope you feel better, hon. Hope you feel better. Hope you feel better, Cheryl. Good. I'm glad you learned a lot, Cheryl. That's awesome. That's the whole point. You guys seeing the camera shake? That's Butters walking past the camera and hitting the camera stand. He's a mess. Thank you so much for that, Cheryl. I really appreciate it. Right? Butter's just like, come on, Mom, pay attention to me. He's got only child syndrome. He's got only child syndrome. He's a little spoiled. You too, sweetheart. All right, everybody have a great night. All my heart. Thank you so much. Good night.